This is L. Jones of Los Angeles, California, representing Elevate Now Multimedia and Lifestyle brand. You're listening to Spark 95.0 Radio with Qualities on the Tuesday Talk with Quality show, where entertainment, real talk, and inspiration collide. Stay tuned because you will be inspired, empowered, and ready to elevate.
What's up, y'all? This your girl, Amani B of Brooklyn, New York, representing Intensieri, Vive Entertainment Enterprises, and Made Capital Corp. And you're tuned into Spark 95.0 Radio with DJ Allspark, the best place where you find informational advice, the funny convos, and a wide selection of music for the young and the wise.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in to Tuesday Talk with Qualities once again. The best show, the best advice, the best everything. It's been a long time, a week, but that's a long time being that long time not being in the presence of you guys. Once again, I would like to thank everybody that's following the show online, that's following the inspirational page on Facebook, on Twitter. I really appreciate your support. Today we're going to have a powerful interview and show brought to you by your one and only truly Q on Spark 95.0 Radio. If you're listening for the first time, I just ask that you just follow the station. You can chat live. You can also leave comments. You can also leave comments on the Qualities of a Good Man page on Facebook. Those questions will be read to the viewers and also to the guests tonight. Okay, and basically the show is the benefits of becoming a vegan. That's what tonight's show is about. I know you all know what a vegan is. And this lady right here, she's very, very, very inspirational. When I first met her, I just seen the transition in her life and heard some of her stories. And, I mean, I was blown away, just by, the inner strength that she have. To make this transition in her life. Very interesting. Also, I have a guest host today. My guest host is Tasha Love from the NEWDradio.com, Love 101. She's my guest host tonight. And the special lady that I'm talking about is Carla Stokes. Yes. And I just want to introduce you guys to the ladies. How you doing, ladies?
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be on with you guys today, especially Q and Carla. This is going to be an amazing show. I'm so excited to have both of you guys on today because, one of the things about qualities is not only just having qualities of finding that individual, but quality of life. And just basically putting it all together. And I was so excited when I met Carla Stokes, and she had such a powerful story, a powerful testimony about how she transformed her life from going from, 300 pounds to now the exciting, 145, Miss Lady? 145, that's there it is. There it is. So that is amazing, and I just want to thank you for having us on today. I'm so excited to be your guest host today, Q.
Yes, I'm excited myself. It's a pleasure, bringing that type of energy, into the building, with another phenomenal woman as yourself. So, I'm ready to get it on. I'm ready to help somebody today and find out all of the details and all of the good scoop about how it is to be a vegan and all of that from the lovely lady, Miss Stokes.
Yes, definitely. Now, Carla, We definitely got to find out some stuff about you. Just, a little bit about yourself and, life at 300. Because when you look at you now, you would never have thought that at one particular point in your life that you were actually at 300 pounds, because you look fabulous, lady. You really do. So how did this journey begin from going from 300 pounds to 145?
Well, I would say it started in 2007, and if anybody has the flyer available, they can see where I'm sitting in the chair in the red shirt. Now that was, and I was sitting there. Actually, that was a rib. Check that out. I was sitting there eating a rib in my favorite chair, which that chair got me to be 300 pounds. Just sitting around eating, and I was like an emotional eater as well. Oftentimes we find ourselves snacking late at night, eating in front of the TV, or we're going through some issues. We turn to food. So that's what I did. I turned to food for comfort, and so again, like that picture, I was sitting there eating some ribs. But that's when I was at 300 pounds, and that was in 2007, and that's when my transformation actually started. Next time, my oldest daughter, she graduated from high school, and she went to San Francisco to go to the school for culinary arts. And she, maybe a little bit after she started school out there and living out on the West Coast, she called me and she was saying how everybody out there was eating so healthy, and she started talking to me about being a vegan and how she was, thinking of becoming a vegan and, changing her life and her eating and her lifestyle. And so I listened to her, and I said, oh, okay, great. And I encouraged her to do so. But in my mind, that's not what I was going to do at first, not anyway.
Uh-huh.
And so maybe a couple weeks later, I went to the doctor. I went to see my primary care doctor, and I was told that if I didn't lose weight, I was going to, have to be put on insulin, because diabetes, high blood pressure, all those things run in my family, from my grandma to my grandfather, aunt, uncle. So we all have this, sort of genetic, hereditary. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, well, I don't think I want to do insulin, So I started thinking about I went back to the conversation that I had with my daughter, and I was like, well, she seems to be all happy and excited about it. So after that doctor's visit, maybe, a few weeks later, I started saying to myself, I prayed about it. I went to God, and, I prayed about it really hard, and I started thinking, how am I going to do this? How am I going to change? How am I going to make this change from going from eating meat? All my life I've been eating meat. All my life I've had, the pig feed and that type of eating, the soul food eating. That's how I was raised. And so I began to do some research on being a vegetarian, and what veganism is, what it stood for, what it was all about. And even after researching and reading that material, I still kind of threw it to the side. But what I did do, I consulted with my doctor, and we came up with like a low sodium diet, and I got involved with doing some exercises. I joined the gym and did all that kind of stuff, and I kind of dropped eating pork and beef, stopped drinking soda, cut down on my sugar, cut down on my salt. So that worked for a little while. Believe me, this was not an easy task.
So let me ask you a question. So I think what you said was a very important point. When you said that you consulted with your doctor, I think that's something that some people don't do. Like they try to do it like shotgun and do it by themselves in a house. Do you think that that's something that helped you, like encourage you even to push further, even after your research?
Yes, it was. Yes, that was very important because, like I was saying earlier, in my family, we have a history of high blood pressure, diabetes, and things like that. So sometimes when we try to do it ourselves, we end up failing because
we haven't really thought it out, or we get frustrated, it becomes too overwhelming. So it's always good to kind of seek medical advice, especially, you know, if you build a relationship. I've been going to, I was going to the same doctor for many years, you know, and so I had that relationship with my primary care doctor. And so he gave me good advice. You know, he told me to do things gradually, you know, and not do it all at once, because that's how sometimes we set ourselves up for failure. We just dive into something and don't really think it through. And then when we start feeling like, oh, this is too much, we get overwhelmed, and we don't have a support system, that's usually when we fail.
Thank you. Now, I have a question for you, Carla. When you started this journey at 300 pounds, and you said that basically, you know, you basically was found out that you could have some medical issues if you continued, and you began to cut out all this stuff. How much weight did you lose cutting out the sugar, the sodas, the ribs,
I would say like in the first 6 months, I might have lost anywhere from 40 to 50 pounds.
Okay, so it was coming off gradually. Right.
Yeah, so it was coming off gradually, and I even had a point where if my weight fluctuated, like I lost 50 and I gained back 20. So it was a big struggle because, again,
right.
At first, in the beginning, I only had the support of my physician, which sort of like I only saw him once every 6 months, maybe every 3 months, you know, so I wasn't in regular contact with him. And then in terms of my family, you know, everybody else was just living their lives and eating the way they normally did. You know, no one was really interested in losing weight and getting healthy and being in shape. So I kind of took this journey on my own at first.
Right.
So, but eventually, though, I did get with a personal trainer.
So you weren't working out in the beginning?
Not
You're just eating better for the first 6 months.
Better. I had cut out the pork and the beef.
Right.
I held on to like the chicken and fish. And I want to say something to that effect, because my thought at the time was I needed protein. I thought that I could get protein only from meat. And then later on, as I did more research, I learned that, you know, a plant-based diet has tons of protein. But in the beginning, though, as I said, I was just more or less a little hesitant. I was always comfortable with my eating styles and, like I said, you know, emotional eating late at night. You know, it's so comforting just to jump in front of the TV and have a snack. It was like, okay, if I'm watching TV, I got to eat. You know, I just had that habit of associating it's time to eat with so many things. If it was someone's birthday, that meant it was time to eat. If it was Friday, that meant it was time for a fish.
I hear you.
It was just, you know, and that's just how I was raised. And in my family, we're all, you know, we're big eaters.
Right.
Food is everything. If we just visit each other, you know, we have to bring food. So that's how I was born and raised. And so I have, you know, I adopted that type of lifestyle. And so that was what I was used to and accustomed to. So, so gradually just saying, okay, I'm not going to eat this anymore and that anymore, it was very helpful. But then I had to start seeking extra support, because it wasn't enough to say to myself, okay, Carla, you're not going to eat this anymore, you're not going to eat that. And even though I was seeing the weight loss, there were times where I would get frustrated. Like I said, I would get frustrated, you know, and I would go back to my emotional eating and all that kind of stuff.
So I want to ask you, how did you combat the temptations, like when they came, whether if it was the food that you no longer wanted in your diet was in front of you, or if you just thought about it? How did you combat the temptations at times?
Well, you know, I really turned to my higher power in that sense, and, you know, just real spiritual. This thing has been a spiritual journey as well. Those were challenges that were very difficult. And what I learned to do, for example, I'll give you a prime example. So mineral water has that little carbonated taste to it. Even though it's just plain water, it has a little bit of sodium. Yeah. So when I stopped drinking soda, I started drinking mineral water because I still could get the carbonated flavor, the carbonation without the sugar and the tons and the coloring and the the fake food dye that's in pop, the soda. Right. Sorry. Oh. I'm from Buffalo, New York, so we say pop, not soda. But so I just substituted things like that. I would eat things or drink things that were similar to the things that I had given up.
Very
so the
smart.
mineral water took place of the soda.
That's very smart.
Yeah,
so it's
and you have to be creative. You really have to be creative.
So
and when if you become a vegan or when you're changing your eating lifestyle, you get creative.
So it's like an alcoholic. If they want to stop drinking alcohol, they have to start drinking non-alcoholic beer.
Well, I wouldn't recommend that. If you're going to stop, just stop altogether. But if that's what it takes to help you to reduce, then go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a nice analogy.
Yeah, because people substitute sometimes before they can just stop. Like you said earlier in the show, one of the worst things anybody can do when they want to make a transition in their life is to stop cold turkey.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, so that was pretty good that you used those substitutes. Now, did you get that within your research? Did your physician recommend it to you?
No, that was something. When you're a spiritual person, and when you really want to do something, when you're really focused, you'll get insight. And so that's what I just got insight. I just started really thinking. Now, how am I going to make it through, or how am I going to attack that craving, or So I just kind of played around with a couple different things until I found what worked for me, or that I was more comfortable with. Because also another thing I would do is have like club soda, which is it's not soda, but it's like I said, my body was just used to that carbonation, and so that's what I was giving it. But eventually it went away because you just kind of like look at the situation and say, well, I don't need this anymore, and you eventually just give it up.
Gotcha. So, your taste buds change, I've been told. Like your taste buds begin to change when you're eating that. So you said, just going back to where you said after the 6 months, just so we can kind of follow your journey, after the 6 months, basically, you got a physical trainer so that you could be more consistent with the weight loss. And after that, what did you do? Because now we're in 2007. We're past 6 months of you changing your eating, cutting out some of the foods, but still kind of yo-yoing a little bit in the weight. Then what occurred after you got the physical trainer?
I worked with her. She was an ex-gym teacher, and I worked with her for several months, and I learned the exercises that she was teaching me and the different parts of how to work the different muscles in the different parts of my body. And we started going to a park. It's called a park in Delaware Park. And the park is about a mile and a half or maybe a little longer. But so we started working out in the park. And so after I got off work each day, the days that I didn't meet with her, I would still just go to the park. And I started wearing ankle weights, 5-pound ankle weights and 3-pound wrist weights. Because using the weights while walking, I would be building resistance. Right. So that was helping me lose more weight because I was going 3 or 4 times a week. I was pretty consistent for that hour time frame, and so my body and my metabolism just got a great jump start.
Okay.
And I was, and by me not eating all the fried foods and drinking all the sugary drinks, because even, when we go to the store and we buy a bottle of orange juice, those little bottles of orange juice, they have a lot of sugar. And I know orange juice is a good source of vitamin C for us, and it's really a good thing. But by the time we get to the store and they put all the preservatives in there and all the things that they use to give it shelf life, it kind of takes away some of the nutritional value. But I wouldn't discourage anybody from drinking orange juice from the store, but I've just found that, certain brands have tons of sugar in it, and it kind of defeats the purpose.
Got you. So basically the 4 things that you cut out was the pork, the beef, not 4, but the few things was the pork, the beef, the soda, the fried food, and the sugar. That was kind of what you started. And the salt.
And salt as well.
And salt. And then once you started working out and doing the walking 3-4 times a week, you saw a substantial difference. How long did you just increase? So you went from walking 1 hour to now walking with weights to now changing it up, or were you pretty consistent with the hour walk until you build, that metabolism?
I did a combination of things, but I made sure that I stayed out there for an hour. If I drove to that park, I was going to be out. Sometimes I stayed longer, but it was at least 1 hour, 3 to 4 times a week. And so my body got used to that, and I was able to, like I said, boost my metabolism and burn the calories, and the weight just start falling off.
Got you. So after the next 6 months of doing that, where do you think you were at that point?
I would say I might have been,
Just a guesstimate. Where did you think you lost the second 6 months?
The second 6 months, probably going into maybe like 230, 240, something like that.
Okay, because I know you said you saw your doctor every 6 months, so he was kind of monitoring you every time you went back, the substantial change. So the next time you went back to him, now you were down to like 230. That's a lot of a change. That's almost 70 pounds from the first original 40 to 50 that you lost. It actually started coming off. And then how did you transition? I know you said you went from eating that bad foods to vegetarian. When did you go to make the transition to become vegetarian, and then, of course, eventually vegan?
I would say maybe about the 2000, maybe about the second year. Mm-hmm. Maybe about that second year, because then I let go of the fish. I'm sorry, not the fish. I let go of chicken and turkey, and I tried to hold on to fish, and then and other seafood. I was just doing seafood, and then my doctor said I went in because I was getting my cholesterol checked pretty regular. Mm-hmm. My doctor said, "Well, your cholesterol is through the roof," and I said, "Wow. Well, that's strange. I'm losing weight. I cut back on this. I'm not eating this. I'm not doing that." Right. And what I found was, by me consuming so much seafood is high in cholesterol. Although it's low in calories, it has protein. You get your omega fatties from it. It's not a bad thing. But the way I was consuming it, because I was not eating any other type of meat or any other type of fowl or poultry or anything like that, my cholesterol shot up. Mm. Right. And I was still eating eggs as well at that time. And eggs, although they're a great source of protein, they're very high in cholesterol.
Gotcha.
So my cholesterol was going through the roof. And so that was when I had to do another modification in my diet. And I was leaning more towards just, I'm just going to do fruits and vegetables, and that's it. Because it was frustrating as well to be losing weight, making this lifestyle change, doing all these great exercises and doing all these great things, going to the store, buying this new wardrobes, literally, being able to go into the store and get what I want, because, basically prior to that, I had always shopped in plus-size stores. I always looked good, but I always was in a plus-size store. So now it was an encourager was the fact that now I could just go to New York and Company. I can go to I can go to all these other stores, that Macy's, all these stores that I didn't frequent before. So that was all at 2:30. You were able to now get into these smaller stores, so that was extra motivation for you. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Right. And anybody who has been overweight definitely understands that struggle of going to the mall and the only place you can go to is the Ashley Stewart's, the Avenues, the Lane and Bryant, where now, right, now you're actually open to the entire mall. So you can shop anywhere you want to shop. You're not limited.
Yes,
that's true. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's every plus-size girl's dream.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what made you give up the chicken and the turkey? Because a lot of people, they'll, they might cut out the red meat, but they still keep the white meat, So what made you get rid of the chicken and the turkey? I know you said you gave up the seafood and the eggs because the cholesterol was going through the roof because that became your source of basically meat. But what made you give up the chicken and the turkey?
Well, I think, really with the chicken, it was, even if because I had said, okay, I'm not going to fry the chicken anymore, I'm just going to bake it. But the skin on the chicken, although it tastes so delicious, it holds a lot of fat as well.
That's the most fattiest part, right, of the chicken?
Yes, it holds a lot of fat as well. So there again, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop it all, because even though I was making all these changes and starting to lose, weight and feeling good about myself and more confident and, doing new activities, more outdoor activities, and I was very mobile and doing all this great stuff, I was still finding that, I was still eating foods that contained a lot of fat. Even if I ate, like I said, you bake the chicken, you eat the skin, it's fat.
Gotcha. What if you take off the skin and you just eat the chicken breast? You don't do the skinless, boneless chicken. Okay. Because a lot of people say that they stop the chicken because of the hormones. So I thought that might have been one of the reasons why you stopped. Because the whole hormone thing became really big. You don't know what's in these birds anymore. So that I thought that might have been one of the reasons. But because of the skin, you said this is fattening. And then even with turkey, you said you gave up the turkey. Was there a reason for that as well?
Well, I just said that I was just I guess I just got to the point where I just said none of it. Just have none of it. Then I wouldn't have to worry about it anymore.
Got you. Now, transitioning into just fruits and vegetables, I can't even imagine how hard that must have been because, we always use fruits and vegetables as side dishes. Sometimes,
or snacks.
That's it. So you're always looking for that main course, that entree, and a lot of times that is the meat. So you got rid of everything, even the eggs. Some people would have said, okay, get rid of the yolk. That's the cholesterol part. See, eat the white. You got rid of the whole egg. You got rid can we at least have a chicken breast? Take off the skin. You were like, no, I'm getting rid of all of it. So
get rid of all of it.
Right, all of it. So now at 2:30, you're working out, you're feeling great, you decide to cut it all out. How was that transition? Was it like your daughter was doing it, and so you had that motivation to, follow some of the recipes she had? How did you cut out all of it? And now, because most people think that all vegetarians or vegans, all they eat is salads all day, lettuce, and then they put some fruit on top of it. So how were you able to cut it all out?
Well, just like you said, following my daughter's recipes, because she was, she's actually a pastry chef. So at that time, she was in school, and, she was sharing her, cooking skills and her little recipes and stuff with me. But when I decided that no more meat at all, I just got very creative with meals. You can have, you can have your beans and rice and get full and feel comfortable. So I sort of switched to foods that I knew would make me, would fill me up. And also another thing that I'm a artistic type of person. And so I read somewhere that if you're eating food, you should eat food that has a lot of color. Your plate should be appealing. It should be pleasing. It should be eye-catching. And so in using that, I started cooking and preparing my meals in that way. I wanted to see orange and greens and yellows. So there came my zucchinis, my squashes,
what do that do psychologically?
kale.
What do that do psychologically? If they saying that, what does it do psychologically to you? Does it make you feel like you're eating more? Like, do you feel happier? Like, what is the process of that?
Well, I'll tell you. What I was doing was I was using a smaller plate, and that's another thing. When you go to restaurants, if you think about the last time you went to a restaurant, no matter where it was, you probably got your food served to you on this big, huge, pretty colorful plate, and you had your food on there, and you looked at it, and the steam is coming up, and you were like, oh, man, I'm ready for this. Well, it's the same thing, but using a smaller plate and using the colors to be appealing. I reflect back when, even as a child, we ate a lot of fried food. And then when you think about your plate, it wasn't colorful, it wasn't appealing, it was brown. We had pork chops smothered in gravy. That's brown. There was no color. We had black-eyed peas and rice and chicken smothered with onions. It was all brown. There was no color there.
Yeah.
But, when you start eating the veggies and your mindset changes, because now, the losing the weight, being able to shop where I wanted to shop, saving money because now I'm not going to all these drive-through restaurants, McDonald's, Burger King, spending X amount of dollars in the morning for a croissant and coffee and lattes and things of that nature. So with the saving money, being able to go to the store, it changes your mindset. You're very encouraged. I was very encouraged. I was very optimistic that, the path that I was going on was one I wanted to stay on. And so, and getting back to my inner person, my inner self, when you start losing weight and you start getting a different perspective on your life. First of all, you're full of energy. You feel good about yourself. Your self-esteem, gets better. Your confidence is built, and you really start feeling inspired. You start feeling like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. You know what I mean? You're more positive. Mm-hmm. And so when your palate starts tasting fresh herbs and fruit and vegetables and really tasting it, and not just the blandness that we used to have with fried food. With fried food, what do you taste? Just grease. What's gravy? It's just grease. It's just flour. There was nothing there. Pepper, salt, pepper. And myself, I was guilty of this too. When we cook our food, we overcook it first of all, and we season it so heavily, salt, pepper, seasoning salt, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And when you start eating more fruits and vegetables, how you season your food changes. You start using more natural olive oil. That came into play. Start using more, like now, I drink like almond milk. I don't drink like cow's milk and things of that nature. But even before I got to that point, I switched from cow's milk to soy milk because of the isoflavones. And the soy milk just tasted so much better. And once you start changing and eating differently, you become a little investigator. You become a little researcher. You stand in the grocery store and you start reading labels. That's another thing. It's really a job, and you could become so preoccupied with being careful on what you eat and how you eat it, you ain't got time for nothing else. One minute, I got to read this, I got to check this out, I got to do this, I got to do that. I mean, and it's all beneficial, but again, like I said, it's kind of like your mindset changes. And you asked about the psychological piece. It is a psychological piece. Your mind does change.
Yeah.
Now you're very vigilant of what you do. Even now, if I'm hungry, I try not to get hungry. I try to make sure that I eat 6 small meals a day so that I don't get hungry. And I don't want to get off track, but I just want to use this as an example. If I go to a gas station, now you think about a gas station, you're probably like, there's nothing healthy to eat at a gas station. But if you really look, there's an apple. gas stations have a piece of fruit somewhere, underneath all the potato chips, under all the stuff. So really, you just become real vigilant of where you are, and at that time, what can you eat? If you're on the go. So really, so going back to, not to get off track, but going back to the psychological piece, losing weight, eating healthy, it becomes your life. It's a constant thing that you think about all day long. Because I started to plan out my meals, which we should do anyway. So you start planning out your meals. You start saying, if I'm going to eat 6 small meals a day, in the morning I'm going to have like a multigrain cereal, or like a hot cereal, like a multigrain oatmeal or oat bran, something like that, as you plan out your day. And again, you start thinking, so from 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, this is what I'm going to eat, this is what I'm going to have, or whatever, or what have you, like that.
So what is a normal day? Since you've already started telling us, what is a normal day for you, And then at the end, we can kind of get tips on what every transitioning vegetarian needs to start incorporating as far as, quick snacks or things that they should have in their cupboards so that they don't go nuts and want to just drive through a Popeyes or a McDonald's.
Wait, let's hold that question for the for after the commercial break. Let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, yeah, we can jump on that question real quick. Gotta pay the bills. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Tuesday Talk of Qualities with Q, my guest host, my guest host Tasha Love, and my guest speaker Carla Stokes, the beautiful vegan that's inspiring all of us tonight. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. You're listening to Spark 95.0 Radio. It's going down, ladies and gentlemen. Friday, April 18th, Easter weekend at Club Dugout. Brought to you by Chiba Entertainments for the retirement bash party of the legendary DJ Eddie Chiba. Special guest appearances: Russell Simmons, Curtis Blow, Cool DJ Red Alert, and many more. Doors open at 9 p.m. Get there early. 25 and up to enter. Dress code grown and sexy. $20 advance tickets. 25 at the door. Club Dugout. 880 River Avenue, Bronx, New York, across from Yankee Stadium. Visit Facebook event page Retirement Bash for DJ Eddie Chiba to purchase tickets. Once again, visit Facebook event page Retirement Bash for DJ Eddie Chiba to purchase tickets. Call 646-327-0659 for more details. Get your selfies on.
They say a man's home is his castle.
Man.
Hi, Dad. Can I get $3?
We at Honda say that a man's car is his sanctuary. The all-new Honda CR-V.
Are having a hard time sleeping at night? Are coughing or sneezing? Or sniffling? Or coughing? I have a solution for you. Dosum Nighttime Multi-Symptom Cold Medicine. When I use Dosum, that makes me a brand new kid.
If you're playing to win, here's a brand new soap for you.
was wrong. This is a commercial for fruit. No bot was right. It's a really weird commercial for soap.
You guys know Tasha Love, and we left off on a question. I asked Carla briefly if you can tell me about a normal day for you, and then tips on what every vegan, a vegetarian and vegan needs to have, like a few things that they need to have as far as on-the-go items so that they won't, just go through those drive-thrus. So really quickly, because this is such an amazing interview, but of course we're running out of time. We have so much more to cover. If you can tell us that, a normal day for you as far as what you eat with those 6 small meals.
In the morning, I'll have a bowl of oat bran, and I'll carry with me maybe a handful or 2 handfuls of almonds, raw almonds, no salt, and then maybe an orange and an apple. I eat a lot of fruit, so an orange and an apple for midday snacks. And then I may have like I'll go with today's lunch. So today for lunch I had a portobello mushroom with snow peas with tofu, sauteed with olive oil. And then a little bit later I had just a serving of brown rice with nothing. And later I had a protein shake. That's another thing I have. I had a protein shake with chia seeds. That's another little thing that aids in helping you to feel full. It's fiber. So and then I drink lots of water all day long, all through the day. I drink lots of water. The protein shakes. And then for dinner, I had another serving of the mushroom, snow pea, tofu mix. I had that again a little bit later. And I had more fruits, a pear. Just keeping a lot of fruits and a lot of nuts handy, things like that. Just having that throughout the course of the day, drinking a lot of water. Eating sunflower seeds, things like that. Do they have sunflower seeds without the salt? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they have salt. Yeah, they have saltless.
Because anytime you think of people with sunflower seeds, they always sucking the salt off and then they throw in the seed. So yeah, just regular sunflower seeds without the salt.
Yes.
Gotcha. Now, okay, that sounds really good. Now, some people will say, with the diets, having the carbs, they think they have to cut out the carbs because the carbs, so they'll eat just the meat, the meat and the veggies and the fruit sometimes. And, fruit sometimes can be carbs too, turn into sugar. So they'll say, all that fruit, you'll definitely be diabetic because all that sugar, all that starch, that will run your sugar up because starch turns in it. So they'll just do the protein and the veggie. What do you say to people who do that? So I think the vegetarian diet might help them gain weight because everybody's trying to cut out the carbs. Whereas with the vegetarians and vegans, they eat carbs.
Mm-hmm. It's there are certain brands of, like for example, there is a brand of bread called Ezekiel bread, and it's made from sprouts. So when you become a vegan and when you change to the vegetarian life, you'll learn that everything that you eat on your normal basic diet, they always have a vegetarian or vegan version of it where it's safe. They have vegan-friendly foods. And once you really, that's why I was saying earlier how it is a psychological thing. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work because you have to read everything. You have to kind of change everything around, and you try to find an equal. So if you don't drink cow's milk, you drink soy milk or almond milk or coconut milk. If you don't like the taste of just plain water, you can drink coconut water.
Yeah.
Any store you go into, whether it's Kroger, your local grocery store, they have a section, and it's very small probably, where there are vegan-friendly and vegetarian-friendly foods.
Yeah, now I want to.
A little comfy also.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. Well, first, I want to bring the new listeners up to speed. I want to recap the show. So basically, in 2007, you was 300 pounds or over 300 pounds. Then you had cut down to about 2 and change with the help of your physician and working out and research and prayer and meditation. Now you're 144. 145. I just took a pound off. You're 145 in 2014. I want to ask you how has it changed your life as far as like physically, the things that you couldn't do versus to the things that you can do now?
Oh, physically, oh wow, it's just amazing. Physically, what it's like for me to be a vegan is a lot of positive energy, and that means physical energy, even including like having clearer skin, hair, skin, and nails just really healthy. And just being able to climb mountains. Like now, I do a lot of mountain climbing. I jog, I roller skate, and I weight train. So so it's giving me that energy and that drive and that desire to just, kind of sculpt my body. If you look at the flyer, that picture that I took in the purple dress, I just took that picture Saturday.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! And so I was able to, flex my little muscles or whatever with your Michelle Obama arms. I ain't bad. Because usually people have that hanging skin, and they're scared what their chest, their breasts will look like if they go from 300 pounds to 140. Like everything's just gonna be hanging south of the border.
Well, I think
for you to show that you are all tight, that's awesome.
But I think that helped. I think that helped a lot with your working out, right? Because some people tell me that they work out. I mean, they lose weight, they go on diets, but they don't work out, so they don't tighten the skin.
Right. And you've been working out since the beginning for those 6 months. Yeah. Gotcha. And now, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, no, I was going to ask you, definitely we see the weight loss and what you did. What did you do for your meat substitutes? Because, a lot of people can change the milk, they can change the water, and they can add the fruits and vegetables instead of doing the chips and chocolate. But what did you do for your meat substitute? And what did you do when you got around family and they were still eating the ribs and the soul food and Thanksgiving came along and parties that you went to? How were you able to not go back to that old lifestyle? Well, the meat substitutes is tofu for me. And basically, I don't even think about meat. I don't really look for a meat substitute anymore. I just got it in my mind that I eat fruits and vegetables only. So I don't even try to find, because when you are vegan though, there are products out there. Like they have vegan hot dogs, vegan burgers. They have stuff like that. I don't even buy that kind of stuff. I don't even want to entertain it. I don't want to, put myself in a position or, even tempt myself. I don't even do that. I just stick totally to the fruits and the vegetables and the tofu. And then there's another thing called tempeh. It's similar to tofu. So I stick to things like that. I don't even entertain it. And when you're with family who are eating ribs and all that turkey during Thanksgiving and holidays, Christmas and New Year's, how do you handle those times? Well, my family I've been doing it for for a long time now that they have just accepted the fact that this is how I eat. And actually, they, like the last couple of birthday parties that I went to, they made sure that I had vegetarian beans, that I had salad. In fact, last October, I just turned 44, and the whole party, they threw me a party, and everything was veggies. There was nothing near but veggies. Salad, fruits, vegetables, things of that nature. So they understand what I'm doing, and they're supportive. But they still eat meat and they do what they do, and they try to make sure that I have something there as well.
Right. So
I bring stuff too.
Right. So what did your doctor say? So basically, it has been a 7-year journey.
Yes, ma'am.
And most of the weight took place. Did you lose a lot of it after you changed and went straight vegan? I'm assuming it was easy to keep it off now that you're not eating any kind of junk and you're still working out as heavily as you do. So you were able to drop the other 100 pounds probably during that time. Where did you see the most substantial weight loss, and what did your doctor say as you went through the transition?
I think my most substantial weight loss was before I even became a vegan. I think the most substantial weight loss happened when I cut out the meat. When I cut out the meat, the weight just dropped off. It seems like
something in that chicken.
It was those hormones.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, once you cut out, so even though you were doing the seafood, you dropped the most weight when you cut out the meat.
Yes, I was.
Right.
Yes.
And that's when you lost a big amount.
Yep.
And what did your doctor say? Because I know your levels in everything must be close to perfect. Like you pretty much erased probably 20 years off of your life now. And you said you just turned 44, and you probably could hang out with the 22-year-olds. But no, seriously, as far as, athletically you probably could, because a lot of 22-year-old girls I know are not climbing no mountains. I know I wasn't climbing no mountains at 22. So you're extremely fit. What did your doctor say? Are like all your levels like really great, like beyond great now?
Well, right now everything is pretty stable, and when I first started losing weight, it was getting better and better, because at first it was my cholesterol had been going up because of the seafood and the eggs and stuff. And then now, that's pretty much under control, but I still do have some issues with high blood pressure though. But for the most part, like, I'm not at risk of diabetes anymore. That's gone. I'm not, and my cholesterol is fine. But I do still have some issues with blood pressure. And again, I feel that sort of because of genetics and it's hereditary.
All that too.
Yeah.
So it's not from the eating at all. It just comes from and it's definitely not from the salt, because you cut out all the salt as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's definitely just from from, like you said, hereditary. It runs in your family. Got you. Okay, so we definitely gotta stop. I know we are so running out of time, and there's so many different areas. How would you encourage others who are trying to change their life? They're trying to go into this lifestyle. They've probably tried before and haven't done well because they didn't have that support system, or they, I don't want to eat salads every day. How can you encourage men and women out there who are trying to, become vegans? And quickly explain the difference between vegetarian and vegan for the ones who don't know.
Okay, let's do that first. Okay. So the key difference that I would say, in my opinion, is between a vegetarian and a vegan. A vegan is more of a person that is more of an advocate. And what I wanted to also share with the listeners is there's a video, and you can go to the website. It's called Forks Over Knives. And it's a documentary on the food and beverage industry. And it tells all the little secrets about how our foods are processed. You mentioned, Tasha, earlier about hormones. Well, this documentary tells us about how animals are treated, how meat is processed, slaughterhouses.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that documentary.
Right.
Yeah, it's powerful. And, like, we eating, like, their stress. We eating everything that they go through that cycle. We eating that.
Yes, exactly. And another thing about a vegan is a person, they don't eat foods that are processed using any kind of animal product. any kind of refined sugar. And most vegans even, avoid products that are tested on animals. They don't even wear like leather clothes or wool. So that's one of the key differences between a vegan and a vegetarian.
Gotcha. They're more of an advocate.
Right.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
With animals and everything, that trying to be healthy completely. And then, really quickly, because we definitely, we could do this go on for days, but really quickly encourage our listeners on how they can transition, and then give us the website of people who have helped you get to your place of, health, basically, overall health, quality of health.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I would advise anybody that's thinking of becoming a vegan to really just do their research, and get in a comfort zone with, knowing that they're going to have to make some changes, and getting in the comfort zone and seeking support. And like right now, I wanted to acknowledge a few of my vegan families on Facebook, Vegan Pros. Mr. and Mrs. Rollins, they are the administrators of the Vegan Pro on Facebook. This is a very supportive group. They post all kind of recipes and all kind of tips and all kind of advice on veganism and, the importance of which foods you should eat and, how do we make these supplements, since a lot of people are concerned about, not getting enough protein, so in this group, they share a lot of experience, strength, and hope, a lot of support, a lot of direction as to what to do and how to do things. And then also, I wanted to mention another person that's very instrumental in my life right now, especially with my weight training, and his name is Keith Bolton, and he's known on Facebook as Keith Concrete Jungle Bolton. You can find him on Facebook. He does the guided tours. Like last Saturday, we hiked up Kennesaw Mountain, and he was our tour guide. And he's a very inspirational person, very hands-on with very helpful diet tips and exercise tips and things of that nature. That's awesome.
You know what I wanted to ask you, Carla? I wanted to ask you because I know that it's many different people out there that either want to become a vegan or started a vegan process. But on the flip side of this, say like if you're like a lean person, like myself, say like if you're lean, how could you go vegan without me? I would think I don't know if anybody else is thinking like this, but me, I would think about me becoming too small, because I know, when you eat right, you lose weight. But is there a system out there that you can be vegan and still keep mass on you while being lean already?
Well, you can. Well, let me just say this first. Let's just back up just a little bit. Being a vegan is not about really so much as controlling your weight. It's about eating healthy to live longer. It's about eating what's right for longevity. And it's not so much about losing weight. It's more about putting the right foods into your body so that you live longer, so that you don't have to take vitamin supplements. Mm-hmm. So, it's really more about that.
Yeah.
But to answer your question in terms of, well, I would say, there are protein powders out there. You can eat protein shakes. I mean, you can drink protein shakes. I mean, there are things that you could do, but you could definitely consult with your doctor if you feel, like, let's say if you started being a vegan and you thought you were losing too much weight, that might be something that you can consult with your doctor about. But I just wanted to clarify that, eating right and being a vegan or even a vegetarian, it's about eating to live and not living.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's why I was just saying, because it's people out there that's already small. Not everybody is big. Some people are thin. Some people are lean. Some people are athletic or whatever. But I understand that when you eat right, you lose weight. But there are some people that might want to be a vegan that they don't want to become too small, even though you're not doing it. You're doing it to eat right, but still, all in all, you don't want to get too small. You understand what I'm saying? So when you had said when you had said that consult with the doctor or eat protein, in substitute of that, then I think that sounds pretty right to do if you didn't want to lose too much weight or you seen yourself losing too much weight. So I just want to let the viewers out there know for those individuals.
Yeah.
Yep,
yeah, definitely.
So I want to ask you before we leave, what are your tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. What are you doing? What is your professional?
I am a behavioral health therapist. I have been working in the field of human services for over 19 years. I've done social work. I do, right now, I've done substance abuse counseling. Right now, I do process groups. I work with people with mental illnesses, such as bipolar, schizophrenia, antisocial disorders. I'm a mother of 5. I have 3 biological children and 2 that I adopted.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And so, I used to be a foster parent, and so I have that advocacy in me, and that kind of goes along with being a vegan and wanting to support animal rights, because that's just my personality. That's just the type of person I am. I will give somebody the shirt off my back. You know what I mean? That's just my personality. I've always been a person that likes to help others, and it's just in me. That's my nature. I'm a giving person, and I find that over my last 19 years of my career, in the different areas that I've worked in, I'm finding that I really like working, with people with mental health disorders.
Mm-hmm.
Helping those who sincerely can't help themselves. I find that very rewarding.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's highly stressful because you hear all kind of stories every day. Some of them I can identify with. I'm a survivor of a lot of things. Sexual abuse, substance abuse, physical abuse. And so I can identify with the people that I work with, and I'm an overcomer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very victorious in a lot of areas in my life. And I like to give back, and I like to share that with other people. I like to give them that extra push or that extra motivation to let them know that you can overcome this. We can do this together.
Yes. So once again, we're about to close out. You can send me the information, and I will share it on my page with the viewers. And just once again, what is the gentleman name and the program?
I'm sorry?
What is the gentleman name, your inspirational tour guy and his website and things like that?
Oh, okay. So the Vegan Pros is it's on Facebook, Vegan Pros, and it's K Rollins or Mr. and Mrs. Rollins. They're a family. It's a family friendly website, vegan friendly website. And then the other individual is Keith Bolton. But his Facebook name is Keith Concrete Jungle Bolton, and that's how you can find him.
Okay.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Carla. Like I said, you're an inspiration to so many. And to do it at your age, to have transformed your life with no surgery. I know so many people who have been doing the gastro bypass, the lap band, everything under the sun, trying to lose weight, and you did it the natural way. And you're actually more healthier than a lot of people who now have to take pills for the rest of their lives because they've opted to use these other methods because they just did not put in the work. And you definitely have put in the work, ma'am. You can see it. You can see it. And you definitely look amazing.
For real.
And,
I know you got a mean chokehold.
Right. With those arms, you know she can do some damage.
I'm like, that is awesome. Like I said, I remember I went hiking in Kentucky one year, and I felt like I was about to die. We're going up that mountain, and I was like, the view is beautiful, but y'all give me a postcard next time. It was just so hard at the size that I was to get up that mountain. So the fact that you do this on a regular, just from walking, 7 years ago you were just walking for an hour, and to now you're going up mountains and jogging is absolutely amazing and inspirational, and it's awesome. And we want to thank you. I'm so glad that we're able to definitely share a piece of your world today and see how you have totally transformed yourself into quality health. Truly an example. Thank you so much. And Q, I definitely want to tell the listeners before we get off. I definitely want to tell them a little bit about myself.
Go ahead.
I so enjoyed being on with you guys today. Yes, my name is Tasha Love on Facebook. That's TASHLOVE. And they call me Lady T, Miss Love 101 herself. I host a Love 101 show that comes on every Sunday at 7 p.m. So once you leave the house of God and you get into your cars and you go home and you have those healthy meals, like Carla said, definitely tune in to Love 101 every Sunday at 7. And basically we talk about loving God, loving self, and loving others. And so it's all about giving love and receiving love, and it is definitely a class. So we tell you pencils up because class is always in session. And I am from Miami, Florida. This is my home. I am from here, and I'm back here. I was actually in Atlanta for 3 years, but I am a teacher here. I work with the little elementary kids. I've also done counseling, like Carla as well. I was a high school guidance counselor, and I've done motivational speaking. I have a girls group called GENT, Girls Empowered and Motivated for Success, and I do some life coaching as well. So I am excited to have joined you guys on today's Qualities. It has been an amazing show, and I've learned a lot. And I know I'm going to have to call you, Carla, because I'm going to need some meat substitutes. Because I know I need to get down my weight. I need to do what you did, that transformation, because you look absolutely amazing.
She's qualities of a good woman.
Right, qualities of a good woman, exactly. I'm going to have to, have the older woman teach the younger woman, because I know that that I've been trying to lose weight forever. And so that's why I kind of wanted to see what was your pattern and how were you able to really get down. And there has been, a lot of my friends have just opted for the surgery. I would say most of my friends have opted for the surgery. And I've been saying, no, I want to do it the natural way, but it's been so hard to actually overcome that hump. And even though I'm a beautiful plus-size sister, I know that health-wise, yes, you have to begin to change it. So that's why I was so excited about having you on the show with Q today and really getting these tips. I actually saw your picture on Vegan Pro, and that's how I came in contact with you, because I was like, man, from 300 pounds to literally you lost half your size. I remember watching People magazine every January, and they would have these amazing people who lost half their size. And I said, how did they do that? It seems so hard. Sometimes you lose 20 pounds, and you're just like, whew, that took me about 4 or 5 months just to lose 20 pounds. I can't imagine losing a whole person. You literally lost a whole person. Right. And you imagine carrying a whole person on your shoulders every day. So Q, who says that he's very lean, imagine Q, you carrying another Q on top of you. And that's what a lot of plus-size, overweight people have to go through. They have to use extra energy to do every task that you do with just that one person that you hold on to. And all that extra weight does weigh on your heart and your kidneys and your lungs, and it can cause all these different diseases, like you said, as far as diabetes and just life-threatening things. So I think that you've been such an inspiration to me and so many others who are trying to do it the natural way. I am so grateful to have been on the show with you guys today. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. And blessings to both of you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Thank you
I
so
definitely appreciate having you. And after those two perfect biographies, statements, I can't compare to them. I'm just regular Q, doing the regular Q things.
You're the reason why we're all on tonight at 10
Now almost 11, talking
Yeah.
about amazing health.
But,
we do appreciate you, Q, for
Exactly.
qualities of a good man.
Oh, I do
and
my
then
thing.
really
I
listening
do.
out to you.
Yeah, I do my thing. I do my thing, of course. But I definitely enjoyed this show, this segment, this episode, this interview, this company, this energy, this impeccable energy right here. To let the viewers know, you can also download this interview so you can have it in your archives. You know, a little bit of guidance while you go into the journey of being a vegan or continuing to be a vegan. Also, like us on Facebook. The links is going to be up on the Facebook page, Qualities of a Good Man, for Tasha Love radio show, and also for the vegan information. I would like to thank you for tuning in to Qualities of a Good Man on Spark 95.0 Radio. Enjoy your night, ladies and gentlemen. Good night. It's going down, ladies and gentlemen. Friday, April 18th, Easter weekend at Club Dugout. Brought to you by Chiba Entertainments for the retirement bash party of the legendary DJ Eddie Chiba. Special guest appearances: Russell Simmons, Curtis Blow, Cool DJ Red Alert, and many more. Doors open at 9 p.m. Get there early. 25 and up to enter. Dress code grown and sexy. $20 advance tickets. 25 at the door. Club Dugout. 880 River Avenue, Bronx, New York, across from Yankee Stadium. Visit Facebook event page Retirement Bash for DJ Eddie Chiba to purchase tickets. Once again, visit Facebook event page Retirement Bash for DJ Eddie Chiba to purchase tickets. Call 646-327-0659 for more details. Get your selfies on.
La